Hey everyone, how are you doing today? I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. Oh my goodness, before I go any further, I have to say thank you to you guys for all of your support on the video that went up on Monday. That was the video where my husband hijacked my channel and did his own favorites Project Pan type video, basically making fun of the whole thing, and I thought it was so funny, and I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed it too. So thank you for having a good sense of humor about the whole situation. I figure if we can't laugh at ourselves, then there's something missing in our lives, right? So anyway, I was happy to have him do that, and again, I'm just so thankful that you guys had fun with it as well. Today's video is going to be a Pan Those Eyeshadows update. If you are new to my channel, hello, I'm so glad that you are here, and if you are unacquainted with Pan Those Eyeshadows, it is a very popular panning video type. Oh my goodness, if I can get my thoughts in order. It's a very popular panning project in which we try to use our eyeshadows and hopefully hit pan. All of us who participate in this project try to make it suit our own needs. For me, I'm currently working on 3 focus eyeshadows. One of those eyeshadows comes from a focus palette, and I also have a palette that I'm just trying to hit a number of uses on and not necessarily hit pans. Before I go any further, my tea of the day is Genmaicha from Den's Tea. I feel like I've featured this one quite a bit. It is one that I drink regularly. It's that delicious Japanese tea with toasted rice. It's so fantastic. Okay, so let's get into my update. I do have a couple of rollouts. So very exciting. Let's start with the items that will be staying in the project. So the items I have not hit my usage goal on or hit pan on. So first, from my Sultry palette, I've been working on the shade Slate. So this shade is obviously a matte gray. I am wearing it in my crease today. I really enjoy this particular gray because it's not super blue, super cool toned. It actually can work with a lot of different shades. It's very pigmented, you could see from the swipe there. My goal for this is 20 uses. I know that will not get me anywhere near pan, but I figure it's a good start. It's a good start on these matte shadows. With the Anastasia shadows, they do take me a really long time to even show usage on them, and currently I'm at 6 uses. I don't even know if I'll put up a picture because I don't think it looks any different than it did 6 uses ago. I'm a little sad I don't have more uses on it yet. I wanted to reach at least 10 this month, but what happened was I had a new palette come into my collection. I wanted to use my new palette, so I didn't end up reaching for my Pan Those Eyeshadow shades as often as I thought I would, but that's okay. That's fine. Just 14 more uses to go on the shade Slate. I would really like to get on with this shadow in the month of May so I can roll this out before summer truly starts. As much as I enjoy that shade, it's not a summer shade for me. So I think that's going to be my heavy hitter focus shade in the month of May. The other shade that I don't have a whole lot of uses on at the moment is this Depotted shade from an e.l.f. palette. This is from the e.l.f. New Classics palette. This was the shade Darling, and I really enjoy it. I'm only at 5 uses on it, but it's because I know that this is a shade I can use in the warmer weather, so I haven't been focusing on it too much, but I really enjoyed the mattes from that palette. I was disappointed in most of the shimmers in that palette. There were a couple that I kept, but most of the mattes in that palette I felt like was where it was at. But again, only 5 uses on that. I'm not foreseeing myself using that actually a whole lot in the next month, just because, again, I'll be focusing so much on this shade. But once I hit my usage goal on this one, this will become my focus, and again, it'll be so easy to use. I really like using that. Very blendy. I did, however, hit a goal in my focus palette. So this is my Cargo Cosmetics Tokyo in Bloom palette, and I have hit another pan in this palette in the shade Spring. So this is just the cream matte shade, and I don't typically use shades like this to set my eyeshadow primer. In fact, I don't usually set my eyeshadow primer at all. The way I use shades like this is to blend out another shadow that maybe got a little heavy-handed, that has like a super dark stripy edge or something, and I'm trying to blend it in. Or when I'm just using an all matte look, I really like using a white like this to do like a very slight highlight on my brow bone or on my inner corner, or even across my entire lid as like a brightening shade. So anyway, I'm really happy to have another pan in this palette. This, however, if you remember my last update, was not the shade that I was going to be focusing on. I wanted to focus on the shade Sado over here. However, I quickly realized that that was a mistake. I shouldn't have rolled that shade in because it's pretty similar to this CoverGirl shade that I'm working on in another project. So I used it a few times, switched gears, went over to use the shade Spring. So now I think I want to keep working on this palette. I don't know if I'll keep it in all summer long, but I do want to keep it in for at least one more month. And I'm thinking that instead of these shades like this one or this one that's pretty close in tone to that CoverGirl shade, I might try and focus on this shade right here called Harajuku. It's what I have all over my lid, and I think it goes really well with the shade Slate from that Sultry palette. Isn't that pretty? I think that is a beautiful taupey lilac color. So I think that's gonna be my focus shade, but who knows? Maybe when I start getting into it, I'll wanna focus on a different shade instead. But as of this moment, that is going to be my focus shade. I'm gonna try hard to hit pan on that in the month of May, and then I'll see if I'll keep it in for the summer. I am, however, very delighted now to have 4 pans in this palette. This is, I keep saying, I don't know if it's my oldest palette or at least one of my oldest palettes. I think I got it in 2018, 2019. So I'm happy to be getting good use on it. Now for the palette that I had a usage goal on, I wasn't necessarily trying to hit any pans. I was using the taupes from Jules Place. My goal for this little 6 pan was 20 uses, and I just hit that goal. This actually was a very, very handy palette to have out for the mattes. The mattes in this palette, especially like these down here, are not that pigmented, but they're very blendy, and I find them extremely handy for using them even to blend out other shadows and just to add sometimes this particular tone to a look, but not when I want to add depth, but just this kind of tone, you know? I did use each of the shimmers at least one time. I really like this one down here in the corner. I think that's the most flattering one on my eyes anyway. And it's interesting, after 20 uses, it doesn't look a whole lot different. The mattes don't have a lot of kick up, so it takes forever for it to show any difference. And of course the shimmers aren't going to show a lot of difference just because I was focused so much on the mattes in this palette. Like I said, I think I only used the shimmers one time, maybe. I could look at my notes. I noted how many times I used them. So it's shades 1, 2, and 6. Yep, shades 1, 2, and 6, I only used one time each. So yeah, those are not gonna look any different. I spent all the time on the mattes. Anyway, so this palette is rolling out, and the way I like to do my project is once I have hit a usage goal on a palette like this, it becomes eligible to be put into my Pan Those Eyeshadows spreadsheet. So now this might show up in this project again as a randomly rolled eyeshadow. We will see, but for now, this is rolling out of the project, which means I get to roll in a new focus palette just to hit a usage goal on, and I think I'm gonna roll in this one from Urban Decay. This is the Naked 3 Mini, and this is criminally neglected in my collection. I say criminally because I really like it. Look at the shades. They're the type of tones I just love. The shades, and whenever I swatch it, I'm like, oh yes, I can't wait to use that again. My only hang up with rolling this one in at this time is how close the tones can be to the Cargo palette here. They're definitely not dupes for each other, but they kind of have the same vibes. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I can get use out of both of them, but I'm willing to do that, I think. So let's see, my usage goal on this, it's different for each palette depending on the amount of pans. This one is a 6 pan, just like that Juvia's Place one. So I think I'm gonna go for the same usage goal of 20 times. And again, I must say, I am really looking forward to spending some quality time with this one. All right, that was my short and sweet little update. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have, again, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you very soon in my next one. Bye.